Hello and welcome to Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Show. A little bit late, 8 minutes. Not so bad, I thought it was going to be longer. I currently had to set up like 3 different internet connections around my house. Means nothing to the people listening on the audio feed, but that's fine. Had to set up 3 different connections around my house, so hopefully the stream doesn't stutter. A little bit worried, my connection is rubbish. Sort out Virgin Media. Let's not worry about that. But yes, hello to everybody watching me live on YouTube right now. Sort my seat out. Hello to everybody listening to me on the audio feed, the podcast. You can do both. Why not every now and then do the other one? So if you aren't listening on the podcast version, you can go to iTunes, Google Play, all that kind of stuff, and you can subscribe. You can leave a little message. That would be awesome. A message, a review. And if you don't come live to YouTube, head over to youtube.com now. Search for Simon Miller. Give me a subscribe, and you can join me live 2 p.m., 1 p.m. BST every single Tuesday. Shout out straight away to Frequently Fly in the Super Chat. And that brings me to my first little new change. I like Super Chat, right? It's really, really good because I get loads of support. People ask really interesting questions. And again, because I like to put all the money I make from my stuff back into my projects, and I make sure I free up more time and turn down other work so that I can do this. But I was like, I want to try and give something back as well. So as you can see, again, not so great for the people listening on podcasts, but I love you. I'll make sure I come up with something for you. The best super chat of the day, of the stream, is going to win a free merchandise bundle. I've left it over there. I was meant to bring it in. But you will win a Becky Lynch t-shirt, you will win a Roman Reigns t-shirt, and of course, better than all of that, you will win a Simon Miller Wrestling t-shirt, which you can also get at simonmiller.bigcartel.com. Just thought hopefully it's a way to give something back, hopefully a good way to get the interactions and the engagement a bit going. Let me know what you think of it. I just thought it was, a little bit of a nice idea. So yeah, and it's basically whichever one makes me laugh the most, whichever question gets me talking, you know, something along those lines, and we can go from there. So shout out to Frequently Fly, just said happy Tuesday. And of course, if you are joining me for the first time, please subscribe, like the video, share the video. All supported by patreon.com/SimonMiller316, at Twitter, Instagram at SimonMiller316. And again, there's a little $sign below the chat thing over there. Ask, say whatever you want. There's no wrongs, there's no rights. I'll read it out. If I think it's morally offensive, I'll tell you. And the best one of the day will win a merchandise bundle, like I say. And also, because I know how this works and most people are watching, yes, there may be a bit of a delay in content this week because I'm flying out to South Korea this week. I can't believe it either, to take on Adam Mayhem for the H Championship. And if you follow the Going in Raw guys, you'll know what that is. It's a big deal. I can't quite believe it's happening. Hopefully going to have some footage, if not live footage, here on the channel. So keep an eye for that over the weekend. But until I know more, we will keep it there. Really crazy. This week has been so crazy. I didn't even know what to call this video. At one point, it was called NXT versus AEW. And then I thought, Bray Wyatt's come back and people may be more interested about that because it only happened a few hours ago. And so eventually I thought, screw it, I'm just going to throw both in there. Clearly people are excited about it. Undead FB Goo in the super chat simply says Bray with a heart. So, you know, that kind of sums it up. I just love what they're doing with. We'll start with Bray Wyatt. That is the most topical in terms of the timeline. I love what they're doing with Bray Wyatt right now because it gets me every single time. I should have known, given everything, that of course he was going to come to interrupt. I'm just going to sort my camera out and hopefully don't screw it up. Of course he was going to come out and he was going to interfere with Jerry the King Lawler. I mean, he's done that with Kurt Angle. He's done it with, who was the last person he did it with? Mankind Mick Foley. It just stands to reason that we would do that. So I've got to keep an eye on that computer as I upload one of the many things I mentioned. And to do it when, again, it got me again because I wasn't sure when he was going to be back on TV. It gives you a reason to watch Raw, even if you've got no reason to watch Raw. And I think that's the best thing about it. I absolutely loved it. I got a massive kick out of it. He's just great. The fact that the best thing about it was they didn't treat Jerry Lawler like an idiot. Like you could treat Kurt Angle and Mankind and Mick Foley as an idiot because we were still learning what Bray Wyatt did. But now, as soon as that light started to happen, we got the chung chung. Jerry Lawler knew what was going on. He got out of the ring. Now, it made no sense why he got to the top of the ramp and decided, I'm going to stop running. That was a very illogical thing to do. But it was still cool because then, you know, in the shadows, in the highlights, the spotlight, in the background, you could see, you could see Bray Wyatt coming up, takes him out with a mandible claw. Another legend's gone down. Thought Jerry the King Lawler sold it wonderfully. Bray Wyatt is still the best thing about WWE TV. We don't know why I attacked him. We don't know when he's going to come back. We don't know what the plan is. Tick, 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 tick. It's just fun. It's exciting. Jeffrey Pridemore in the super chat says, the Bray attack stressed out my 5-year-old son. And why wouldn't it? It was a bit like a serial killer this time, the way he stalked him. And Frequently Fly also said, I thought this too, in the super chat, was I the only one waiting for Bray to somehow interrupt Booker T on Skype? Because I hate the Skype stuff. See, clearly there is a deal between WWE and Skype. And this is the only thing they could come up with to do. I don't like them. I think they're ridiculous. I think they utterly take you out of the moment. But if we are doing that, eventually we have to do it where they're actually just backstage and Bray Wyatt takes them out. We've got to do it. 100% got to do it. It's flipping awesome. Well, that will be flipping awesome if we do it that way. Under FB Goo in the super chat says, I scared my dog again. Even the dog is scared of Bray Wyatt. And also, I want to point out my new little alert box gift thing in the top left. I love that. Little Stone Cold Steve Austin drinking beers. We had a zombie before. I was like, that's not very wrestling. So we've got that in there. Because people say they wanted a better alert. I agree. Amazing that OP in the super chat just says, I have donated just to see the mini Simon Miller crash 2 cans of ice cold Pepsi together. Right? It's a cool lyric. Look, it's a cool little thing. I was really proud of that. Right, I'm going to still talk. I've just got to send this link. This is what I've been doing today. I've been running around like a crazy person getting stuff done. And that's done. We can fire that over. I've done my job. I'm a good person. And then we can do that. And the people on the audio will never hear that because we've done it. So yeah, we've got a nice new setup here, nice new little GIF, and Bray Wyatt is still kicking ass. Thank you to everyone that has joined me. The numbers have gone up, so just to remind you to try and give something back for the super chat. Again, you can ask any question you want, make a comment, I will respond to it. But also the best super chat of the day will win a merchandise bundle. You'll have to message me, tweet me at Simon316 your address, or set up just say I'm the winner, and we'll open a DM. And I will send you a Becky Lynch the Man t-shirt, a Roman Reigns t-shirt, and a Simon Miller t-shirt. You let me know your size, whatever that may be. Macaulay Quinn in the super chat says, surely undefeated Fiend versus Demon is a WrestleMania title match. You are the first person to throw the word title in there. My question is, who is the champion? I'm not as big a supporter as many people for that because I don't see why you would want to ruin either of them. I'm not a big fan of the Demon. Or no, I'm not as big a fan of the Demon as some people. Massive fan of the Fiend, as we've talked about. I don't know. I would have to see where we are at the time. But if the title was on the line and it's built well, then yes, maybe that's it's more interesting. But we will have to wait and see. Derek Ayala in the super chat, always a good guy. Massive support this week. Thank you, Derek. You know why. We had a chat. You're a good guy. He said, good morning, afternoon. I wanted to say before going to work, thank goodness for the Fiend. We got Vic out of it. He was awesome on commentating. He made the matches more entertaining, in my opinion. Take care and kick ass in South Korea. Thanks, Derek. So nervous, but so excited. We did get, what's his name? Vic, I can't remember his last name. It's Vic Joseph, right? Why have I forgotten his name? I did a big part of this on Ups and Downs earlier, which obviously you can check out as well. That's not his name. What's his stupid name? I literally talked about him all morning, and now is Vic Joseph. I think I'm right. You can yell at me in the chat if I'm wrong. I get stuff wrong all the time. He did come out. I did think he sounded very much like, I've heard him before, obviously, because he's done other stuff on NXT and 205 Live and whatnot. I did think he sounded very much like Michael Cole, but I thought he was very, very, very self-assured and very, very confident. And it just felt nice to have 3 people that liked each other. I didn't realize how much that was kind of driving me nuts when Corey Graves runs everybody down. So yeah, I did like it. I was a big fan of it. And I don't know whether this was done on purpose, because he did kind of take the lead, right? Michael Cole sat back for a little bit and they let Vic take it. Maybe this was a bit of a proving ground, a bit of a testing session to see what we could do. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where we're going to go. I'm excited to see what we're going to do. 2 thumbs up all round, I would say. And yeah, I'm pretty excited. I like change. Maybe it's something to do with SmackDown. Maybe, I don't know. I can't answer where they're going with it, but I'm not against it. Faye Williams in the super chat says, hey Simon, still making me smile, and thank you for all the hard work you do. Love it. Good luck in your match. Do you think Vince is going to ruin NXT? Thank you, Faye, for making my segue life so easily. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, obviously, this broke over the weekend. I don't know whether we were actually meant to get confirmation on Raw. It got so crazy. It got so lost in the shuffle. I was like, I don't even know. It may even change last minute. But NXT is going Wednesday nights on the USA Network. Don't know what's happening across the world. We'll stick to the USA for now on USA. 8 to 10, starts September the 17th, I believe, top of my head. And if you don't know, the reason they're doing that is because AEW will also be going 8 to 10 on Wednesday nights starting October the 2nd. I did a little tweet on Twitter. I was being facetious. And I said, if you don't think it's a war, what do you think now? That went over so many people's heads. It's not a war from AEW's point of view. And it's not necessarily a war from WWE's point of view, if you want to argue it either way. But it is still a war. If you are moving your television, if you're moving your big draw for the WWE Network onto television because you want to make sure you have competition on the night where a brand new company is starting, it's a war. Whether AEW or WWE thinks it's a war, that's a war because you're actually trying to take away viewership from the other people. That's the only reason it's on Wednesday nights. If USA had decided they wanted some programming to fill the SmackDown void, we would have put it on Tuesday nights, right? So I don't understand. You can do whatever you want, but I really don't understand anybody trying to argue otherwise. Quick shout out to Tim Upton in the super chat. Just threw some money in there. Much appreciated, my friend. I promise you it'll all go back into this. Also says, watching from Australia, my wife and I love you. Here's $2 for the Repo Man Fund. It will go into the Repo Man Fund. Where's my mask? I should do this as well, shouldn't I? I should say, if you put $5 in the... $5 in the super chat, I become Repo Man. Well, I've done it anyway for you, my friend. It hurts my eyes, so I can't do it for long because I got too big of a head. But it just is that they've moved it onto Wednesday nights because they want to try and usurp AEW. I think this is crazy. I'm going to do a video about this on What Culture, so keep an eye out. And of course, at 2 p.m. BST, move over with me to What Culture Wrestling, where we'll talk about this week's Raw. But to me, it's just a lose-lose for WWE. I think it's a really risky move. I think it's a really, really crazy risky move because we all assume that AEW will lose to NXT because it's a WWE product. There's no real... when I say that, what I mean is it's not a big surprise. It's not like, oh my gosh, AEW didn't do as big a ratings as a WWE show, because that's what we're used to. We're used to WWE doing 2, sometimes 3 million ratings. Right now, we don't really know what a successful number for All Elite Wrestling is. They've now sold out, their first 3 TV shows, which is incredible. One's in a 5,000 building, but that just means they're smart business people, because they're now able to say, hey, we sold out a show. I'm sure they still profited off of it. But by WWE actively putting themselves in the firing line, to me, if they don't outdraw AEW... that's a bigger story. There is no story in NXT draw more people than AEW because it's a WWE affiliated product. But when the new boys on the block are then doing better than you, people will cover that like, oh my gosh, can you believe it? What's next? And that's why I think it's absolutely nuts. I don't know why they couldn't just leave them be. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's not, you can fire shots and do stuff like that. That's fine. But to do this, I think is absolutely crazy. So... it's just baffling. It just is. It's really, really absolutely baffling. That's got to go now before it cuts into my eyes. I'm just going to grab my phone to turn off my personal hotspot, which I realise is still on and probably costing me a fortune. But I can't believe it. And also, going back to the question, how does this affect NXT? I don't know, because it puts it in a completely different limelight. On the one hand, you want NXT to stay how it is, so we can see how it affects a TV audience. We don't know now. We want to assume that a product like NXT is going to do well, right? That's what we hope what will happen. But ultimately, we have absolutely no clue. Like, maybe that's... Oh my gosh, why the hell did my phone do that? That's weird. My own stream started playing on my phone. It's like Inception. But we like to think that kind of product will do well and people will buy in and we'll bring back the 18 to 34 demographic and so on and so forth. All these tick boxes that everybody likes to come up with. But if NXT moves and doesn't get the ratings, we're never going to be able to find out because it's just going to turn into Raw. It's just going to turn into SmackDown. If the ratings aren't where they need to be, Vince McMahon will be more hands-on. It will become Raw too, because of course it will. The big stars like Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, they'll all move to NXT. And then we've just got another Raw. And we're like, well, we don't understand. We don't know how this is connecting with audiences. That's going to take some time. And really... it's going to need time regardless, because you are going to be a brand new person watching NXT. It's going to take some time for bedding, get used to watching WWE on Wednesday nights. That's a brand new experience. So to me, Vince McMahon putting his finger in is actually bad all around, because it doesn't allow us to experience NXT out in the wild. And everybody has claimed for years, NXT would do great if that's what WWE was. And maybe it would. Maybe it would, but maybe it wouldn't. So that's my main worry with it. I think it's really ballsy by WWE. I really do, because I kind of feel like it's they can only lose. But I don't know. It's going to be fascinating. I don't have to worry about these things, is the good stuff. Shout out to Hyder Barty in the super chat. It says, is it weird I've been listening to Christmas songs all morning? And also, do you think anyone from the main roster will be going to NXT? I mean, it is weird, but more power to you, Hyder. I respect you. I respect you for doing that. Because if it made you happy, that's what you should do. Never let anybody tell you otherwise. Yes, I think that's why Tyler Breeze and Fandango have gone back. They're now in a great position because they got in there beforehand. It wouldn't surprise me if Dolph Ziggler went. He needs a reboot. If ratings are bad, you'll see Roman Reigns on it. Not as a permanent fixture, but he'll be there to pop a rating. I think you could probably see Apollo Crews go back. Who's like a top guy? Finn Balor may pop up on there. I think a lot of people will. And especially if it's 2 hours. The real issue is now is do we... what do we put on? Because you don't need, you can't segregate your audience too much. So you've now got, I don't know what hundreds of thousands it does on the network. I know it is hundreds of thousands. So you now need to ensure that the WWE network subscribers who tune in to watch NXT have a suitable replacement. They don't feel ripped off. Is that NXT UK? Is it Progress? Is it Evolve? We don't know. So we've got to make sure that's in place as well. We've got to do it all in, 3-4 weeks? It's a real crazy... I mean, I know it's been rumoured for ages, and the big twist was it's going to be on USA instead of FS1 or Fox. But it is a real crazy decision by WWE. And I hope it works out all round, both for AEW and WWE. But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let me know what you think. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Are we going to ruin NXT? Are we going to suffocate it? I think we can say that we're never going to get the same product we're used to now, because you can't. If you move something into a brand new environment, it's inevitably going to change. That's just how life works. I don't know. I'm fascinated by the move. I'm fascinated it kind of got some momentum so quickly. Again, we think we were meant to get an announcement of Raw. We don't know. It's going to launch in a few weeks to get the one-upsmanship over AEW. Color me impressed. Color me impressed. I forgot to pimp it out on here, so I'm just going to do this as I talk. But yeah, I don't know. Because I want everybody to do well, sometimes I think, like, what's the best way to put it? Are we not looking at the bigger picture? Like, do we really need to go head to head? Or is that something, especially because in 2019, you don't really go head to head. Like, even if you want to watch this, you don't have to watch it live. There'll be an archive, and that will be the same, on any kind of live program. You can DVR it, you can watch it on YouTube, Twitch, whatever. We'll see. But I imagine that with SmackDown leaving USA, NXT will probably come far more Raw / SmackDown than it is now. But hey, look, it also gets some great exposure for people like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Velveteen Dream, Johnny Gargano, Ciampa when he's back. There's loads of guys down there. Street Profits, maybe they can now. I don't know. We will we will see. Talking about Raw on a more general level, I thought Raw was really good. Not perfect. There was some stuff on there that I really didn't enjoy. The tag team situation is the one that got me the most. Shout out to Melissa French, who just subscribed. Check out my new little alert thing. I love that new little alert thing. It's the greatest thing ever. I've just noticed loads of people have joined. Hello to everyone that's joined. Again, just to let you know, there's a super chat button right there. You know how it works. Best super chat of the day wins a free merch bundle. And I realized I missed one because Jerry Oxendine just said, "For my I love you, Jerry, because you supported the podcast. You're not winning." Just to be honest with you. But yeah, best, funniest we'll go with. The super chat that makes me laugh the most will win a free merch bundle. Hit me up on Twitter after the stream at Simon316. We'll trade, give me your address. You've got a free Roman Reigns t-shirt, a free Becky Lynch t-shirt. Those two, I don't choose the sizes, unfortunately. They are a medium. But you can let me know the Simon Miller t-shirt you want, and you can pick your size. And then FB Goo in the super chat said, "My birthday is in 2 weeks on a Monday." Well, happy birthday for then. Hope Bray pops up on that Raw. Who knows? Love the Braun and Seth part this week. Well, let's talk about Braun and Seth, because I liked it in terms of what it was. I thought it got a great reaction from the crowd. I think a title change is always fun in the moment. But in context, I was a bit worried. Now, WWE has done this many times before. I think they did it with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. Maybe I'm wrong. But many a time, they have marred people together who are in a championship program and use the tag team belts as collateral almost, or as a subplot. Right now, I don't think WWE should have done that at all. I think it was a massive mistake because the tag team division needs to be built up. And I actually thought what did Gallows and Anderson even get to do with those titles? They didn't even have a feud. They just held them for a few weeks and then we were like, poof, we're done. We're out of here. And I kind of think that's a shame. I don't think right now, if we are trying to build a brand and we are trying to get WWE better, that our titles should be used as props. And the tag division not only has a bunch of guys that are never used. Like, where were the Viking Raiders this week? I thought they were squashing people. Apparently not. And at one point they were teasing they were going to go after the OC. And the Seth Braun storyline didn't need them to be the tag team champions. Like, it was great for what it was. I enjoyed it. But in context, when I take a step back, I'm not sure that's what we needed here. So it's a bit surprising they would do that. Again, they're clearly worried about AEW. AEW is probably going to have one of the best tag team divisions there is. So to steer away from that, maybe they're just trying to differentiate themselves. And maybe it turns out to be really good. But the fact that Raw ended with Braun Strowman staring at the Universal Championship, even though he just won the Tag Championship, you're a bit like, well, what the hell do we even do? You know? So I was a bit confused about that. Shout out to Crouton in the super chat who says, is the Fiend going to collect trinkets from every person he ambushes, like Foley's mandible claw and Finn's jacket? Well, I hope so. The best suggestion we've had was Cody. He was on the podcast on Friday. Again, cheap plug. If you want to come on the podcast, you can. Patreon.com/Simon316. It's one of the rewards, along with you can get a video message, a personalized postcard, a t-shirt. Join my weekly Q&As. There's loads of things you can do. Go check it out. Link in the description below. What I would like to happen is next time we go to the Firefly Funhouse, I think we should start seeing all of these things. Maybe we see a Finn Balor puppet. I think we'd all like that. I think it would get a reaction. It's hard to say that Bray Wyatt wouldn't because so far he's been smashing it. So, yes, I think we should do that. I think it should become like a collection of whatever you want to call it. I think that would be awesome. Jake Morgan just says, wish you were my dad in the super chat. Thanks, Jake. You say that, but it depends how old you are. I'm in my early 30s. It may be a bit weird. It made me I had you like when I was like 12, and that brings up a whole bunch of problems. But I appreciate that. I have met you, so I don't know if I want you to be my son, but, I'll start thinking about it. Absolutely. Vicky Branton in the members. Of course, you can join the channel as well. It'll join video down there. Another way to watch my live Q&As, Patreon Q&As, should you wish. I think I deserve a t-shirt just for being referee this summer holidays. All three of my boys have made their own 24/7 title, and I'm knackered. It's cheeky but true. So you never think about that. You think it's the moves that are influencing the youngsters, but it's not. It's the fact that we've come up with this 24/7 craziness and we've gone from there. So yeah, Braun versus Seth for the chat. I don't know. They'll lose it at some point when one of them turns on the other one. So we'll see. We'll see what goes down. It just surprised me that they did it. I thought there'd be other ways. And I was a bit disappointed as well that Braun versus AJ for the US title, which they built up all week. They started that build the day, the sort of minute after Raw was done with an internet promo, and the match went 1 minute and 51 seconds. I was a bit like, oh, okay, glad I bought into that. Mr. JRen63 in the super chat says, Simon, you're growing more famous by the day. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I appreciate it. If it looks like that, perception is reality, so great. Are you worried at all your nudes will eventually leak? P.S. You are the man and are 100% not a soy boy. No, I've never sent a nude picture in my life, nor do I understand nude pictures. I don't get sent. I'm just that guy. Call me whatever you want. I think it's weird. I don't want to take pictures of my stuff, and I don't want to send pictures of my stuff. So if they do leak, I know they're going to be fakes, or of course they'll be Johnny Sins, and everyone will go, because I know how it goes. Jake Morgan follows up in the super chat. Well, yeah, I'm 17. Might be an issue, you slayer. It would be. Well, no, it could happen, but it would be a controversial situation. Someone's asking about ups and downs. Ups and downs, 2 p.m. BST. 28 minutes over on What Culture Wrestling. What happens is we'll wrap up then, and we'll all head over. I'd like to see you there, as always. And thank you to everyone else that is watching right now. It's gone up again, just to pimp it one more time, because it is brand new. Oh, I've done it again. Of course. Well, it's better to do it in the middle now. There's more people watching. Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Show is, of course, sponsored by Pins and Knuckles, the only place you need to go. Whoops. But yeah, again, if you have just joined, best super chat of the stream wins a merchandise bundle, Roman Reigns t-shirt, Becky Lynch t-shirt, and of course a Simon Miller slaphead t-shirt. What else would it be? I'm a bit worried because my connection on my end is starting to stutter. I'm hoping that's just my connection going nuts, because I do have the worst connection of all time. But any issues, let me know, and we will absolutely go and sort it. But yeah, other than that, with the Bray Wyatt stuff was great. Main event stuff we talked about, AJ Styles, Braun Strowman, a little bit odd. Thought they used Becky Lynch well this week. Just a nice, looking into the camera, straight fire promo. Few people, we talked about this on Ups and Downs, so I won't give away too much. But yeah, a few people mentioned to me that they thought that was like a nobody talks like that promo. I was like, no, it wasn't. She had a really good line in there when she went Sasha Banks, like, one of the great wrestlers who was never actually great. I was like, that's a great line. It's a really, really good line. Fair play. So, yeah, don't really know what that was about. Thought she was good. The Sasha Banks stuff, I guess we should talk about that. I mean, talk about 50-50. The interview with Michael Cole I thought was good. I like that she joked about her blue hair. I don't mind that we haven't got an explanation, but I certainly am going to need one soon because AJ Styles still hasn't told us why he went heel. But with that said, look, the Natty Night. So Natty Night, if you haven't seen it, was cutting a promo. She started talking about her dad again. Sasha Banks runs in, beats her up and says, I don't even like saying it, she said, see you in hell, Natty, and when you're there, say hi to your dad. Words to that effect. I will never overly criticize it simply because if Sasha Banks is fine with it, and Natty Neidhart's fine with it, and Natty Neidhart's mum was fine with it, and everybody's fine with it, it's not for me to say otherwise. Like, if I was in that angle and somebody close to me had passed away, and I said, hey, I'd like to make this an angle, I should be able to do that as a human being and make a choice. I think that's kind of forgotten on the internet sometimes. If Natty doesn't care and thinks that Jim Neidhart would have loved it, awesome. The problem we have is, I can only look at it from my point of view. And as a consumer of wrestling television, I don't need to see that stuff. It doesn't make me hate Sasha Banks anymore. It doesn't make me feel any more sympathetic towards Natty. It just makes me think, maybe I'm too quote-unquote smart as a wrestling fan, right? It just makes me go, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I just don't. It just makes me uncomfortable, and I think to myself, are there not better ways to try and get heat off someone? But I know everyone's going to have a difference of opinion. I mean, Jim Neidhart was a wrestler for 40 years? Something like that. Maybe he loved the fact that he was doing it. It just reminded me of back in, 2006? I guess it would have been when Randy Orton said the similar thing to Rey Mysterio about Eddie Guerrero. And even then I was like, that doesn't really make me very comfortable. I don't know. I just realized I've called this video 103. Obviously, episode 203. I'll change that. I'll change that in a minute. Crouton in the Super Chat says, Super Chat has been off the rails today. It's doing well. Look, my merchandise idea is doing good. Thank you, everyone, for the Super Chat and the support and all the patrons and everybody who helps me out with this stuff. I really appreciate it. And again, best Super Chat of the day. I say best. They're all the best. But there's one that makes me laugh. If I proper laugh at it, you can win a free merchandise bundle. I just wanted to try and give something back. I have never seen a naked Mexican. Not what I'm saying. That's a name in the Super Chat, but somebody will clip that, I'm sure. Although it is true, I have never seen a naked Mexican. Tony Schiavone has signed with AEW. What do you think about that? He did. I like it. I like Tony Schiavone. He's like Mr. Nostalgia, isn't he? Like Jim Ross is the same, but because I've heard Jim Ross on New Japan and he came back to WWE and now he's doing AEW. Any nostalgia I had there has kind of been filled up. But Tony Schiavone went away for so long. He was like a minor league baseball commentator as far as I know. And I know he's been doing MLW stuff, but it's quite hard to watch over here. I don't know what role he's going to fill, but I can't wait to hear him on All Elite Wrestling because when I hear that voice, I'm going to be reminded of Monday Night Nitro, and I don't mind that. I don't mind being reminded of that. As long as it's not overkill, which it won't be. I used to have a great time watching Raw and Nitro in the late 90s. I want to get that feeling back. So hell yeah. Hell yeah, give me some Tony Schiavone on a Wednesday night or wherever they want to do. I like Tony Schiavone. I think he's good. Frequently Flying, the Super Chat says, I would like to see Nobody Talks Like That segments of 80s and 90s promos, specifically The Ultimate Warrior. I mean, if we could do that, can you imagine how amazing it would be? Can you imagine how amazing it would be? We'd never get through the shows. we'd have to try and decipher Ultimate Warrior promos and be like, I don't know what the hell that means. That's really, really weird. But does anything else really stand out on Raw that I think we need to talk about? I mean, I thought it was a very well put together show. I like the Roman Reigns Dolph Ziggler match to start. Just a really, really good match. Obviously, Dolph wins again. The King of the Ring stuff is good. Well, it's good and bad. I liked Samoa Joe versus Cesaro a lot because we had a definitive winner and we had a definitive loser. And when you win properly in a tournament and you keep on going, you're going to be in a good position in the next round because you can actually be told, oh, this guy beat Cesaro, like a proper willing competitor. The issue is, in the other match, we had Cedric Alexander versus Sami Zayn. And of course, as you already know, if you watch Ups and Downs, Sami Tally, we're going to mark it in around about 22 minutes. He lost again. And it's not just the fact he loses. Like Cesaro and Samoa Joe had 8 to 10 minutes? I don't know. I don't time the matches. Cedric Sammy must have gone 3. And Sammy, they didn't really get any offense in. Lampard check, 1, 2, 3, he's gone again. Apparently cut some promo after all. It's on YouTube. I haven't seen it yet. I just don't really understand what the point of having Sami Zayn on your roster if you're not going to do anything with him. There's only so long you can keep him loose before eventually people are going to get bored of it. So I thought that was nuts. I thought that was crazy. But look, again, at least Cedric Alexander won strong. So now Samoa Joe and Cedric Alexander have progressed and they have a legitimate claim to be there. There's no shenanigans, no nonsense, no DQs, no countouts, no run-ins, no distraction finishes. That's what this whole King of the Ring tournament needs to be. It's different for someone potentially like Baron Corbin, who I do think will win because, of course, Baron Corbin was on the losing side of a tag team with Drew McIntyre as they took on The Miz and Ricochet, which has surely just got to be because next week The Miz and The Miz and just said his name, Ricochet are going to lose in King of the Ring. I think Baron Corbin's going to win it. We talked about that last week, so we will have to see. We'll have to see what happens. AJ Parker in the super chat says, "Hey Simon, hope you're doing well. Was hoping for Simon Says and ups and downs, but it looked like the Fiend disrupted that. Come on, AJ." You know me better than that. There's a lot of stuff on ups and downs today. I would like to win the merchandise because Nikki Crocs still rocks, crikey lol. I do respect how much you've gone with this Nikki Crocs thing. Some people probably don't even know what it means, but if you watch every week, you do. A bit like Seinfeld. And Aaron in the super chat says, MLW is on Mondays at 10 p.m. on Free Sports in the UK. Do I get Free Sports, Aaron? That's the question. I don't have fancy TV. I don't have, well, I've got Sky. Of course I do. I've got Sky. It must be on Sky. All right, I'll look for it. I'll check it out. I literally only watch Sky now for football and for wrestling. I forget what else I have. Well, in that case, I'll start DVRing it and I'll watch it. Shout out to Aaron. Thank you very much. I didn't know that was a thing. I would probably say they need to promote that more, but maybe that's on me. I like what I've seen on MLW. I think it's good. We had a question as well. That's about Batman. As much as I respect that, I'm not going to talk about Batman. We'll do that on a different podcast. Rey Mysterio, too, we need to talk about. I've seen a few people in the chat mention that. What a turnaround for that storyline. Rey Mysterio smashed that promo. Absolutely made me believe that he's had a hard time, that he's struggling with the Andrade stuff. I don't know why he's not able to get revenge on the fact that Andrade take his mask off. Just ask for a match. That's what Seth Rollins did. Is that Braun, do you want to be in a tag team match? Braun's like, yeah. They just went off and got it done. So I'm pretty sure Rey Mysterio could do the same thing. But yeah, like I totally just bought into it. I'm not saying it was Mark Henry levels of good, but given everything, I was absolutely convinced that, yeah, maybe I'm just going to end Rey Mysterio's career. I don't really understand what the conclusion to it was. Dominic arrived and he said, "No, Dad, don't retire. I want to team with you when I debut in WWE." But I don't think Dominic is debuting next week. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Someone tell me. But that's what stopped him from retiring. So is Rey Mysterio just going to wait a year now? Are we going to do some kind of, hash together tag team match that's not really going to work because Rey Mysterio is going to do, carry all the load and Dominic will just be there? It's a bit like Nicholas and Braun Strowman. I don't think we need that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, I liked half of it. Half of it I was a bit dumbfounded by because I don't know what direction we're going in. But we'll find out. At least I'm intrigued. At least I want to see where it's going to go. Like that's why they had Roman Reigns to start the show as well, because they just want to remind you that tonight we're going to find out who tried to kill him. I can't wait to find out who that was. Even if it is Daniel Bryan, he comes out and goes, "Lol, it was me." That's fine because it wraps up the story nice. There's a conclusion there. It makes a lot of sense. I can't get mad at that. So, by and large, I thought a good episode of Raw. I thought it was paced well. I thought it kept you guessing. I like the fact that tag team titles were defended. Little disappointed we couldn't have built up a bigger feud with Mandy and Sonya. I think that would have given them a lock. So I like them as a team. But at the same time, okay, if that's what we've got to do, then that's what we've got to do, I suppose. At least the belts actually feature, right? They've been on TV more than Mojo Rawley's Blueface. And he was somebody else that vanished. So I think all round things are kind of rosy there. And now we just need to get to Clash of Champions. Apparently it's going to be Braun Strowman versus Seth Rollins. What the hell we do in the next 3 weeks to get there, I'll never know. And of course by that point, we'll have had All Out, so we'll have a better idea of AEW. NXT will be on wrestling on USA that we've already talked about. I don't know where. It's just going to be a crazy end of the year. If you are a die-hard WWE fan as well in a pay-per-view week, I don't know how you're going to be. You probably don't care about NXT because you're probably already watching it already. But in terms of a TV viewer, to watch 3 hours of Raw, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's basically 10 hours. And it'd be longer than that because pay-per-views aren't 3 hours anymore. But a minimum of 10 hours in a pay-per-view week. It's weird, isn't it? I don't know anybody that's got the time or the impetus or the patience to sit through 10 hours of WWE in a week. And if you want to add AEW into that, it's 12. I think MLW is 1, that's 13. You've got Impact is 2, that's 15. Who's got the time? And it's great. It's not bad. If you're a fan of these things and everyone is invested. But I think when you look at something like Impact or Ring of Honor, and I like both those shows, when you look at them and it does kind of feel a bit like they're dwindling rather than growing, you do start to wonder maybe there just is too much wrestling right now. I mean, it's the best time to be a wrestling fan because it is so accessible. But man, do you need to have a lot of time. And there's only so much, and there's other things you want to do too. You want to go to the cinema. There's probably other sports, football, American football, baseball, cricket. Like there's in England right now, Premier League's just started again. The Ashes are on. I'm not a big rugby guy, but I think there's some rugby's about to start. I can't remember. I don't really follow it. I used to. I don't really follow it anymore. So, trying to find time away from your job and your family and your kids and whatever else you like to do to get it all in. It's so hard. Jake Morgan in the Super Chat. Would you bring back the WHC and push Finn Balor? The World Heavyweight Championship would have 3 belts. No. No, it would not. In terms of Finn, yeah, I think Finn Balor can be pushed. I don't think we need more titles. We've got enough titles as it is. But the problem with Finn Balor is, are they actually ever going to get behind him properly? It's the same with Dolph Ziggler. I'm happy with anybody to get pushed, but you've got to push them properly. And you can't have this stop-start nature, which is why, in a way, it's good that Finn has gone away for a couple of months. He can sell the Bray Wyatt stuff hard, but also you'll be excited when you see him. You'll feel like a new member of the roster, which is certainly necessary. Shout out to Vicey and Yogi Beach TV, who are members. Much appreciated, my friends. Thanks very much for joining me today. Again, if you want to join in with the Super Chat, you can. Best, I keep saying best, funniest stream, or whatever you want to call it. One Super Chat will win a merch bundle. There you go. That's a much better way to put it. Again, just an impetus. You know how it is. You know how these things work. And yeah, now we roll on to SmackDown. I want to go and check to make sure nobody has broke any news as we've been talking, because as you know, each and every week it does happen. We do have a new, we've got a new, what do you call it? Wrestling TV show. Stephen Amell is going to star in, I think it's called Heels. Is it Heels? Let me get yeah, it's called Heels, which is interesting. Produced by Paramount. I had the description the other day and I've lost it. I don't know what website I read it on, but it's basically an 8-episode series that is going to be based on pro wrestling. It sounds like Cody Rhodes is going to be in it, and it's going to kind of get you this insider look at someone that's playing the bad guy on TV, but at home is a stand-up family man. So, look, it could be really good. I don't mind them being more wrestling-inspired television shows. A good show is a good show regardless. Like Fighting With My Family came out recently, end of last year. That was quite a good, easy-to-watch movie. It's more of a family movie about wrestling than a wrestling movie that was for families, but that was still at the heart of it, and I think that was important. So, I think that Stephen Amell, he's embraced pro wrestling, and I can respect that. Jake Morgan, the Super Chat, says, replace the WHC with the awful Universal title. See, they'll never do that, simply because if they do that, it's almost like admitting that they've done something wrong. So I don't think they are. I don't think they are going to do that, but we will find out. Undead FB Good, the Super Chat, says, did you see the video the Wrestling Revolver put out? Davey Havoc from AFI sent a video message to Jimmy Havoc and Jessica Havoc. No, I didn't see that. That just sounds crazy. That just sounds bizarre. What amazing wrestling world we live in. No, but I will check that out. What did they say? I didn't even know that AFI was still around. I didn't know they were wrestling fans. I've learned a lot today. So onwards we will go with that. I'm excited to see what Jimmy Havoc does over the next few months, maybe even a year. Obviously, he's on All Out in that big match. I like Jimmy Havoc. He's always a good guy. I don't want to ruin his rep too much. But, after my first, second, third, one of my matches in Defiant very early on, sort of first 5, he came and took me to one side, gave me some advice, was really kind, helped me out on Twitter as well when I asked him a few things. Just a lovely dude all around. So to see him getting the success he absolutely deserves, team in AEW is crazy, really, when you think about it, like a proper mainstream company that's about to be on American television. So yeah, just shout out to Jimmy Havoc. There's lots of other people as well, but I don't like mentioning them just in case. I don't want to ruin some of the bad guys, right? I don't ruin the bad guy rep. That's really bad. So I'm exposing the business. I don't want to do that at all. Also, shout out, I should say, we'll do a little wrestling roundup at the end here. Well, we've still got about 12 minutes to go. So again, any questions, make sure you ask in the chat. Thank you for everyone that came to the Bedford in Balham this Sunday. Pretty good crowd. I was really impressed. I was like, when I went out there. But yeah, some excellent people there, shouting some really cool things. had a match with Arcadius. You can check him out. Search for him now on Facebook, Twitter. I think he's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. Like a proper hard-hitting, old school, let's just smash each other match. And I loved it. I had a great time. I'm suffering from it a little bit today. Put like this, I'm meant to be at wrestling training right now, but my back is like, you need to rest, which is worrying. Nothing serious. I've just tweaked it, but yeah, that was... that's not something that it just worries me after it happens with my shoulder. I'm probably being overly cautious. Well, I am being overly cautious, but again, I would rather be overly cautious than do anything silly. So thank you to everyone that came for that. Wasn't successful this time, unfortunately, after the Mother Hubbard raked my eyes, piece of trash. Also, shout out to that guy in the crowd who told me that I was crying. I was not crying. I'd been raked in the eyes. Do you not understand what that means? I'll come rake you in the eyes and you see if you like it. You can't see. You don't know what's coming. But yeah, thank you for everyone who said nice words and was there and supported me. It was awesome. I did have to run off quite quickly after that, so I apologise, but thank you to everybody who was there. And of course, I don't expect to see many people on Saturday, but yeah, my next match is in South Korea for Pro Wrestling Society. Keep an eye on my channel over the weekend. We're going to try and stream it in some fashion on here. Again, just search for Simon Miller on YouTube, subscribe. We don't know if we're going to be able to. There will certainly be footage afterwards. I'm going to make a little vlog of it out there. I'm going to put it up on the channel, and there'll be some exclusive footage as well. But if we can put it live, it will be on here. It'll be free, obviously. Just be a live stream as we're doing now. If you could click it and support it, that would mean the world to me. It's a big deal. It really, really is. Again, if you don't know what the H Championship is, it's been around for a long time. Currently held by Adam Mayhem. Go check him out on Twitter. I think he's the Adam Mayhem. He's a bit of an asshole, but that's why someone's got to go and shut him up. But yeah, it's basically the Going in Raw guys, who you may know from YouTube as well. It's their title. Adam Mayhem has held it for long enough. Stephen Larson have very kindly opened the door for me to challenge it. So I'm going over to South Korea, and I'm going to try and bring the championship back here. And you can bet your ass if I get it, I'll be wearing it on every single damn video I do. So it blows my mind. I don't want to get too much into it because I'll do a special video about it, but it's a crazy... I'm really nervous in a good way, like when you think I hope more of these opportunities come along. So we will see what happens. And a bit closer to home, a week Wednesday too, is my match in Canterbury for IPW. Area 52, the show is called. You can search for that as well. If you're in that, come down. That's another one that's a real big deal for me. I've known about IPW for a long, long time. So to have the door open for me to go in there, it's time to impress. It's as simple as that. I'm going to be absolutely knackered from South Korea. I literally get off a plane and go there. But that's what wrestlers do. Shout out to Hyder Barty in the super chat. He said, whatever happened to Wayne Rooney versus Wade Barrett? That's true. They had this little, skits, like a Manchester Arena show, wasn't it? They got into it. Well, look, Wade Barrett is now Stu Bennett and he's making movies, so shout out to him. He's doing well. And Wayne Rooney's about to go play for Derby. So we've come a very, very long way. I don't think we're going to see that match anytime soon. Chicken Salad said, did you see the King and David Arquette match? I did. There's a clip going around online if you haven't seen it. The King, I can't remember who was fighting, but the King gives someone the stunner, and then David Arquette gives him an old school DDP diamond cutter. And I remember just thinking, what a crazy wrestling world we live in. Jay the King Lawler's on an indie show with David Arquette, who's giving out diamond cutters. AEW is on TV, NXT's on TV. The whole point of the network was to become this hub that you don't need to watch television anymore. Now television is more important than ever. Bray Wyatt's completely reinvented himself as one of the best characters we've seen in years. Someone, there's a Dolph Ziggler story as well. I don't know how true this was because I didn't see it everywhere, but it did the rounds. Apparently, Dolph Ziggler had a handshake deal with Vince McMahon that post SummerSlam he could walk out of the contract. The company was done. And then after SummerSlam, he went, actually, you know what? I've changed my mind. I have changed my mind, and that's what happened. That's what happened. It's just like, I can't keep up with this. Quick cheap plug for Rich Anino in the super chat because he asked about the Ultimate Warrior-esque logo, which of course is what my background is based on, and if it can be turned into a t-shirt. Well, it actually is a t-shirt. Again, I don't want to, it's just cheap plug, it just is. Patreon.com/Simon316, description, the bio in the description. That is one of the Patreon rewards. The free t-shirt reward, that's the t-shirt you get. You can ask for another one, but that's the standard t-shirt you get. I've got like a proper high-res image of that. And yeah, I can send it to you. If as simple as that. AJ Parker in the super chat says, Simon, I would love to see you with a strap over your shoulder while you do your show. That would be awesome. I think it would. Like, I really wanted to win the Defiant Internet Championship for obvious reasons. Got bested by Martin Kirby. No shame in that. Out in Japan right now, smashing it for Dragon Gate. So, you know, if you're going to lose to the best of them. But that would have been cool because it ties into the journey, as we've always called it. A bit cheesy, but it's true. That's the same with the H Championship. But the H Championship has its... I know I'm sounding a bit cheesy, but it has its legacy and it has its roots in the internet, in YouTube. So... if that's the first title I win, it just feels fitting, right? And to go over to a different country and then have to bring it back, I just think that's cool. It's like you've rescued it. It's like you've rescued the championship. So, yeah, I mean, I hope I can. You don't know in this crazy wrestling game. It's ups and downs, which is, you know, ties in very, very nicely. But I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do my best. I ain't playing around. Like, my confidence has grown over the last few weeks because I've had a couple of matches that I've realized. I've still got so much to learn. I'm still the greenest of green. Of course, I'm a rookie. I'm not getting ahead of myself. But I have noticed that mistakes that I was making, I'm now aware of, and I'm not making them anymore. Like, I'm a bit more savvy, I guess. And people are still giving me loads of feedback. I finally worked out how I want to be in terms of my character. Again, I break the fourth wall a little bit. I think I was caught between a rock and a hard place. I was like, do I want to come out and be tough guy wrestler? And I was like, no, I don't. That's not who I am. Like, I had one of those moments. Because, and I won't, again, I don't want to ruin his rep, but if he hears this, he's the best dude ever. He knows what I'm talking about. But, you know, he sat me down and he kind of said, Simon, if someone does come to see you at a show, it's more than likely they want to see the ups and downs, why idiot, the what culture guy, right? That's such a good point. And I was kind of maybe moving away from that because I thought to myself, you know, does that work? And I'm like, well, it does work because that's who I am. It's a bit of a performance, as we talked about before, but it's still who I am. So I came out, again, in the show over the weekend, and I was just that guy. I felt so much more comfortable. I was like, this is who I am. You know, I get serious when I get in the ring, and hopefully people can look at me and go, that guy's going to kick some ass. But that's not my nature as a character. So that was really, really helpful too. Richard Dalloway in the Super Chat says, why do you say 316 and not 316? Well, Rich, Dickie boy, I used to say 316, and people got confused. So now if I say Simon Miller 316, you can't get that one wrong. But yeah, people used to say they didn't know what that meant, which is fine. Which is why I say at Instagram and at Twitter, Simon Miller 316. 316, the Austin phrase. Somebody also said to me, Simon, why do you regret having 316 at the end of the name? Because usually when I say that, I always say if I had known what was going to happen in the future, I wouldn't have done that. And that's true simply because I never knew I'd be this amassed in pro wrestling. I never knew it was going to get to this point. I feel absolutely honored and blessed that it has. But now, for example, let's say that I tweet Stone Cold Steve Austin and he replies or retweets something. He just look at my Twitter hand and go, what a nerd. What a mark. And anyone in wrestling will go, I know I am a nerd and I am a mark, but maybe that's one step too far. I don't care really. It just makes me laugh. I could change it. Just to Simon Miller. But now I feel like we're too far embedded with it. Maybe I'll do it one day. We'll just throw everything out the window. And we'll go crazy. A lot of people asking me if I could come to the States to wrestle as well. Look, man, if someone from the States wants me to, do a match in the United States and I'm free and I can get there, I'll 100% be there. There's no two ways about it. That going abroad to wrestle just feels like a massive achievement, and I don't really know because it's crazy, right? It's something you never would have expected, and I understand that I'm very, very lucky to be in that position. So. Yeah, we will see. Fingers crossed. Someone apparently saying I refuse to be near other talent at What Culture. Everybody gets this wrong. Bro, I am based in London. They are based in Newcastle. If I want to be close to them, which I always do, I have to travel 5 hours up the motorway. So when I am there, we do the best that we can. When I'm not, we talk and we hang out over the majesty of the online space. This is a crazy thing that people have come up with over the years, and I don't really know where it started. Or not. Someone just asked me if I'm going to start a podcast. You're on it right now, my friend. This is it. Again, if you're on YouTube right now, there's a podcast version. Just search for Simon's Pro Wrestling Podcast. And if you're on the podcast version, head over to YouTube, search for Simon Miller, give me a subscribe, give me a like, give me a share. You know how it works. All the YouTube stuff. In 3 minutes' time, we're going to wrap this up, and we're all going to head over. Well, if you would like to, we can all head over to What Culture Wrestling and watch Ups and Downs live for Raw, as long as it's still on the cards, which I will check now. Sometimes there are tech issues. I do have a message. Nope, it's fine. We should be all good for 2 o'clock. Otherwise, we'll just take it through the weekend. A quiet weekend, finally. I mean, the week after is not. The weekend after that, we've got NXT UK Cardiff, we've got All Out, and we've got Raw Quest New Japan, which hopefully I'm going to be there for. Fingers crossed. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but we're going to try and get some interviews while up and down the show live outside the arena, the Copper Box in London, if we're able to. But we will see. We'll see what happens. But that is going to be all right. So I meant like an audio-only download. Yes, my friend. Search for Simon Miller's Pro Wrestling Podcast on all podcast apps, and you'll find it. You can. I've lost my train of thought now because we're going to try and get there. But it's a crazy weekend, 3 shows. There's probably another show I've forgotten that weekend as well. There's a lot of wrestling to consume. And obviously we're going to get, the best thing about All Out is we're going to have a real good idea of what's next for that company. Are we going to prolong the Chris Jericho Hangman Page thing? Is Kenny Omega going after the world title? What does Cody Rhodes do? What kind of match does the Young Bucks walk into? Are LAX about to join AEW? Chris Jericho's got 2 mystery partners on that first AEW taping. They've announced they've left Impact Wrestling. Doesn't seem like they're going to WWE. I imagine WWE would have announced that quite close. They just announced a whole new round of talent going into the Performance Center. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. I'm really, really excited, and I think it's a right pleasure to be involved in wrestling right now in whatever capacity that is. So look, here's the deal. Come back tomorrow, 2 p.m. BST. We'll do another one of these because people enjoyed it last week. Right now, head over to What Culture Wrestling as soon as you see the end logo on mine. Make sure you subscribe to them as well. We will do live ups and downs for Raw. You can get my take on it. A lot of nonsense in there today. Shout out to AJ Parker in the super chat. He says, I'll be front row for ups and downs with popcorn. And shout out to Tom Talks Rubbish, who just says, have money, late super chat. Oh, that's brilliant, Tom. I appreciate it. Right, AJ Parker, send me a tweet at SimonMiller316. You're my free merch bundle winner today because your passion rang through. But I do want to thank everybody who does donate in the super chat and donates in the Patreon. I make sure I separate it each and every week so everyone gets something down the line. I've got a bunch of stuff coming that I can give out each time we do one of these. But yeah, AJ, just drop me a line on Twitter. We'll have a little DM conversation going. I'll get your details. But for now, thank you so much for joining me. As always, if you haven't, give me a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Head over to What Culture Wrestling. Like I say, if you're listening on the podcast version, don't worry. I'm working on some goodies for you as well. But if you can come join me on the YouTube version, please do. And that's it. That's it. Have good days. Enjoy yourself. Put a smile on your face. Always believe. That's that, isn't it? Let's just wrap it up. Let's just wrap it up.